case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In the 1978 Supreme Court case, Bordenkircher v. Hayes, the central issue was whether a prosecutor's credible threat to bring more serious charges against a defendant if they do not plead guilty to the current charges constitutes coercion. Paul Lewis Hayes, the defendant, had been indicted on forgery charges in Kentucky, facing a potential sentence of 2 to 10 years. During plea negotiations, the prosecutor offered a 5-year sentence in exchange for a guilty plea. However, the prosecutor also threatened to bring more serious charges under the Kentucky Habitual Crime Act if Hayes did not accept the plea, which could result in a life sentence. Hayes ultimately accepted the plea, raising the question of whether the prosecutor's behavior violated the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. A lower court initially ruled that the prosecutor's actions were unconstitutional, as it constituted a vindictive threat made during plea negotiations to re-indict the accused on more serious charges. This decision was appealed to the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court ultimately reversed the lower court's decision. The justices ruled that a prosecutor's threat to bring more serious charges was not coercive. Instead, it was considered an acceptable and necessary negotiation tactic in a system that relies heavily on plea deals for efficiency. They argued that prohibiting prosecutors from acting forthrightly in their dealings would only lead to unhealthy subterfuge and undermine the practice of plea bargaining. In conclusion, the Supreme Court found that the prosecutor's conduct in Bordenkircher v. Hayes did not violate the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, as the risk of harsher punishment is considered an inevitable and permissible aspect of plea bargaining negotiations.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class